Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Alma, Missouri. We are rushing to beat the rain. I've kind of cheated the clock a little bit, slowed things down. Want to finish this field up, and then we're gonna go. I'll start cutting some grass. I made 98 round bales off of that other field. I still need to collect those bales and put them away, but 98 round bales off of field 40. Got those baled up earlier this evening. Add to that the bales we're going to get off of this field and the one in behind it. And I have to say, I think we're probably going to have enough straw to never collect any more straw. I really don't see myself going through 120 some bales of straw in any time soon. I'm curious to see how much hay and silage bales we're going to get. I'm also mildly concerned on the on making TMR with bales. I find figuring out the right size bales can be a little difficult now in FS22. Remember the days when all the bales were the same size? Making TMR was like mind-numbingly simple. Right, now you gotta mix and match bale sizes to field types to hope you get the right ratios. So I probably completely screwed up by making 150 centimeter bales of straw. Probably should have made them smaller. I might hedge my bets and make 125 centimeter bales off of these two fields. Then use those other bales as bedding bales. Oh, Walter, I'm not European anything. I already went to the restroom. Yeah, let's pull that up. Oh, it's not watertight. Good grief. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go. Pedal to the floor. Get this thing going. Oh, we got an AM radio. Heck yeah, we got an AM radio in this thing. Turn on the tunes. Maybe we get some country western going on. No, we don't. We don't want country western. We'll just turn the radio off if that's all our choices are. Oh, look at all those beautiful bales. I put the net wrap add-on in, so they are all beautifully colored and textured. Do they have classic rock AM radio stations? I didn't think AM radio stations were allowed to put anything good on. Thought they were maybe restricted to those dollar bin records. Yeah, that's all this truck has. So all she has is AM radio. Dwayne, how goes the epic wheat harvest? Dwayne is harvesting all the wheat on Nowhere, Kansas. He's been at it since like December 26th. Good evening, Shane. Good evening. So yeah, we put the I put the net wrap mod in. Right, so all our bales are lovely wrapped. $98 of those bad boys. All right, let's make some hay. Man, those are some loud birds. That's what I gotta say. We don't want to get too close to that road, you know. People go and chuck stuff out the window all the time. We don't need to be mowing up people's trash. Just a couple liters of wheat in one bin. How many bins have you filled up? Right? That's the question. Rabbit Rob, what's up, sir? How's it now you've been back at the office? Today was kind of slow for us. We're wondering how many people were really back in the office. Now that we have two fabulous rows, let's go get it lined up. And there we are. One of the best things about these mowers is their great turning radius. What's up, Bertus? How's the day job going? Jim, Happy New Year to you too. Glad you can come join us. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do A for fields 39, 36, 35, and 30, 39, 36, and 37. And then silage bales for 35 and 38. That's the goal for tonight. Professor of Logic, what is up, sir? How are you doing? Happy New Year to you too. Just flying across the fields. I tell you what, I saw these. I saw this type of machinery, real life, over at the National Farm Machine Show, Louisville, Kentucky, last February. We're gonna be going back there next month, in fact. And I have to say, these things are a lot bigger than I was thinking they would be. Everything farm machine wise has just gotten so much bigger in the last 30 years from my previous experience. Just whip it around. Here we go. Alvin, what's up? Welcome back. Crossblade, how you doing? Well, I know you've probably been driving recently, but my car was kind of slow to start this morning. I don't think I've driven it in probably close to a week. She was a little slow to start this morning. Now, I have no idea how old that battery is I've got. That's probably some of it. It's a 10-year-old car, and it might just very well have the original battery. I don't think I put a new battery in it. Oh, Schultz, I didn't look at it. I went to log in when I got home to download it, and the password that I thought I set didn't seem to work. So I'm like, well, okay, forget it. I'll download it tomorrow. I'll have to go look on the cover. I don't recall putting a battery in it. Maybe I have. I know we've dealt with the wife's car in a battery, because I know we found out that the all right, here's the gripe. Here's the gripe. Who in their right mind, no one, by the way, that's the answer to this following question. Who in their right mind puts the battery at the bottom of the front driver's wheel well? To the point where the only way you're getting the battery is to take the tire off. Jack up the car, take the front tire off, then you get access to a little battery door to remove the battery. So much so that they put remote terminals in the engine bay for, you know, jump starting. That is exactly the truth. Now, I used to have a car that had the battery in the trunk, so I had to buy a special vented battery because it was in the trunk. But, you know, it was accessible. It was accessible, at least. Yeah, so I think every engineer that ever designs a vehicle, or quite frankly, every engineer that ever designs any piece of machinery, should also have to service that machinery, and then they can go back and redesign it. Yeah, we're gonna hay this field too. Yep, we're haying this field. So, at any rate, my battery thankfully is in the proper location in the engine compartment. I need to try to remember to look and see how old the battery is, because it should have those little knockouts on the label. Maybe I've replaced the battery, I don't know. Get out of the way, dear. Oh wait, I put that mod in where animals are supposed to be scared by the horns. Anybody use that horn mod, where supposedly animals run away from horns? Haley, what's up? So yeah, I used to have a car where the battery was in the trunk. Would really confuse people. Like if I was needing to jump start somebody, because I'd back up to their car, and they just look at you like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I get to the battery." Okay, that's what I'm doing. under the passenger seat, like, do you have to literally take the passenger seat out to get to it? Or does the passenger seat flip up? Her passenger seat's got a storage compartment under it, so you can flip it up and it's got storage down there. Yeah, we got those in all the vehicles now. So, yeah. If the battery's dead, you're not moving the seat. You know, those should have... Darn it if those shouldn't have, like, manual releases to override. Schultz says that he knows somebody that's working on a swather. I don't know if he's had a chance to reach out and ask where that particular person was with their work on it. Oh man, I tell you what, talking about removing half the intake, I had to fight. I had to fight to get an air filter in the car. Change the cabin filter? Simple, right? Just empty all your crap out of the glove box. Pop the sides loose. Glove box drops open. It's right there behind it. Change the air filter on the engine bay. Oh my gosh, it's like remove 40 pounds of plastic. Yes, Delilah. Yes. I mentioned that in the video. That, for whatever reason, the premium expansion wasn't compatible. Yeah, but every engineer should have to work on the vehicle or machinery that they engineer. Smoke 82, good evening everybody. Good evening, Smoke 82. And a special good evening to Etienne Marin and Squiggy 486. Thank you for being farm barons. Okay, so we're gonna duck through the trees because we can do those things. Oh, shoot the tree gap. Shoot the gap. There we go. I don't know. That's a lot of grass. Maybe I should Maybe I should cut another field of hay. Let's go, let's go, let's go. They only take manure, or do they just say manure in the list? That's very strange. Yeah, my wife has sold so many people on those jump kits. It's funny. She told me a story of she was, I don't know, at a truck stop or something, and this guy had a pickup with dualies, right? Dually diesel pickup, and he couldn't get his truck started, bad battery. So she rolls over, brings out her little pack that's, you know, 2 or 3 pounds. Not all that big. And she says, yeah, here, hook this up. The guy's like, little lady, that ain't gonna start my truck. And she said, you just watch. So after his truck got started, he was like, little lady, where did you get that from? I was like, I don't think I'm going to tell you now. Cocky son of a bitch. At any rate. Maybe she'd been more like, I'll sell it to you for $500. Trip, what's up? What is up? How you doing tonight? Yeah, we got one in every car. Lock her down and let's get to work. I probably should check mine, right? See how it's doing. And it's good for like 3 or 4 starts. She got onto them when she was working at the police station. Because they would get calls all the time to help students jumpstart the cars. Because, you know, students move in, they park their car, they let them sit there for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then they go to leaving for break, and of course it doesn't start. So it's a whole lot easier to dispatch somebody with a battery pack than the whole car with cables and all. Especially if you've got those cars nose in to the parking lot curb and there's cars on either side, right? You're not getting to it. I've got, you mean the little donut? Mine's got a can of Inflate-A-Flat next to it. Plus I've got I keep a cigarette lighter, air compressor in the trunk. Trip we're going to be making into bales. I am not selling any of them. Right now we have, what, 50 cows? Right now we have 50 cows. So we are making hay and silage to feed them. TMR. And we'll probably see about maybe adding more cows to the mix. Well, you know, Schultz. My dealers, at least they used to use nitrogen. They used to put nitrogen in the tires. I asked them one day about it. They're like, well, one, it compresses less with temperature, and two, it doesn't oxidize the tire, right? Because it's not oxygen, it's nitrogen. So it helps the tire from getting, brittle, I guess, cracked, and all that fun jazz. I guess in theory, it might help with fuel economy because you have, less weight of air in the tire. Big Fuzzy Gaming, yeah. Premium air. Make sure it's far, far away from the Mexican restaurant. That air can get pretty ripe. I guess I probably should have went the other way. Huh. Alright, that's all good. Well, 80% nitrogen isn't 100%. Right? Nothing's too good for my tires. I want the good stuff. Although every year, like clockwork, when the weather starts to get cold, all my tire sensors say low pressure. I just leave them until I take the car in for service. Because when you look at the tires, they're not really low. Nope, we got 2 more fields we're cutting. Trip, except we're going to drop the conditioner and we're just going to cut grass at that point. Oh yeah, I wouldn't pay for it. It's all part of their service. I mean, I wouldn't take my car to get oil changed at the dealer unless it was free, which it is, right? I roll in there and say, yeah, give me a oil change and tire rotation, please. And then I walk out of there spending $0. Well, it's not like you can... It's not like you can get those things not put on. Half the time they're standard. Why do you have to service your truck every 2 weeks? Big Fuzzy, is it a Ford? Man, that sounds like the Ford maintenance schedule. Temp sensors are government pressure sensors are government mandated now. Talk about Big Brother. What the heck? So I saw a commercial. Supposedly Ford offers to come pick your car up for service. I'm like, how on earth do they have enough staff to go around and pick up everyone's Ford all the time? Tukey goes and uses his toes on his tires. Not cool. That's a very weird type of toe jam. Well, this car is a 13. And the car before that was probably an 01. So I don't go car shopping too often. And I think I've decided that this car, I'm gonna not be able to sell it. This car is gonna have to be, I really should take this back to the farm. The car I have now, I think I need to either continue to drive for the next 6 years, or get a third vehicle here in a year or two and delegate it to kind of driving it once a week just to keep it, you know, used, and then gift it to the son when he's able to drive, because this is the car that was manufactured on his date of his birth. And, you know, us crazy parents, we think that's kind of cool. And we think it's kind of cool that maybe having your first car be a car that was physically made the same day you were born would be, you know, a cool thing. So I got to keep it around for another 6 years, and I don't see putting 1,000 miles on it every month. Something I can continue to do. Professor Logic. The only thing I did on that farm was I put the 2 bins in. Put the 2 silo bins in. And I set the bottom area where we had gravel. I made that. That had a bunch of, old deco bales. So now we should be spitting out grass. Schultz, if Schultz was born in 91, let's just say that I graduated high school in 92. So I'm looking maybe I'll buy a car in 2025. I'm hoping interest rates will drop by then to decent single-digit levels, low-digit levels. Oh, well, Professor Logic, if you still haven't accomplished what you want to, then by all means, keep on trucking it, right? Oh, well, sounds like you're what do they call them? Hot shots? You drive those gooseneck trailers and transport people's stuff around? So yeah, no wonder. Although I have to say, 600 miles in a day is a long haul. I couldn't imagine trying to do 850. Oh, Big Fuzzy, I won't tell anybody if you don't. Oh, Dwayne, growing up, there was, and I kind of regret never being able to. Growing up, there was perfect time to buy some nice Chevy Chevelles of the muscle era, and there was this farm that the bus would drive past every day. Had one of those old school Pontiac Firebirds in it with the round headlights in the front and kind of the pointy front nose. Oh man, that was like, yeah. I wanted to buy one of those Chevy Chevelles with the big back end, you know. I like big back ends, and I cannot lie. Or that the old Firebird. Off to Cali. What are you hauling? Can you say? I mean, you know, it's all secret anyway. Oh, that's not good. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, an old school Camaro with the same round front windshield or front headlights. Yeah, I'll go with that. That's a big trailer then, a dozen Harleys? Well, now Schultz, you know, that was let's just say 30 years ago would be optimistic. Oh, I know Dozer, because she'll tell you herself. She doesn't have any rear end. An AMC Javelin. I had a guy in college lived on our hall. He had an AMC Eagle, I think. It was all-wheel drive, like a four-door all-wheel drive car. Do I have it right? AMC Eagle. There was a guy in high school I knew that actually drove a Corvair. Four-day trip. What do you pick? You're picking up Harleys, or you like delivering them to a Harley dealership? Like pick them up from one dealership, take them to another? Scout PB. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Ah, okay. An auction. You know what, Scout PB? I was just saying Kerbo the other day, or actually earlier today. I was talking to Kerbo, and in chat he was streaming. I was like, you know, it'd be awesome. Somebody needs to make a international Scout mod. Anybody out there want to make an international Scout mod? That would be awesome. Four-wheel drive, locking diffs, right? It's got to be yellow. It's got to be all yellow. My grandfather had a Scout. It was yellow. I don't remember too much about it, other than he had a Scout and it was yellow. What's an SN99? Oh, well, no wonder I don't know what it is. No wonder. When was the Mach 1? When did the Mach 1 get made? Or was the Mach 1 just a package? I mean, if we're going to talk about holy grails, then a split window Corvette Stingray. There we go, right there. I just laid it down. Oh, well, you wouldn't drive it to drive it. You would only drive it for, you know, you take it out on a pretty day. I am indeed putting together a C2 Stingray. Got caught up all the way to pack 6. I had gotten several packs behind. But over break, I dedicated myself to do a pack a day. Got caught up. So there's a car channel I like to watch. Car channel I like to watch called I'd love to know if anybody else watches it. Called The Questionable Garage. They don't make stupid decisions, they make questionable decisions. And he had a video series in the fall of last year where he took a, I don't know, what model year Dodge Dart. But he took a Dodge Dart and basically retrofitted it so that it would fit a Ford Coyote, a Chevy, Chevy LS, and the Dodge whatever, Dodge Hemi, I think. It was definitely a Hemi. It was a 6-liter Hemi that apparently was bored out, 6.4, and he competed in the LS Fest, the Mo Party, and the whatever the Ford one's called, Junk Fest, I guess is what they call it. Swapping engines out between festivals, which I guess is like 2 or 3 weeks apart. It was a fun series to watch. That'd be that's a very nice first car, Delilah. Yeah, all three with the same car, swapping out engines. It was a fun series to watch, Schultz. You might want to go check it out because he talks about all the issues and modifications he had to do in order to fit all three engines into that little Dodge Dart engine bay. The Coyote was the tightest fit. Chrysler New Yorker, my gosh. You could take the whole high school prom out in that thing. There, now we're almost down to one field left. The one directly behind us. Well, Schultz, you gotta be different up there because it's just so flat. Otherwise, I think you just go crazy. Yeah, everyone's doing LS swaps. It's like that's done. Genetic J, it sounds like, do you need some cream for that? Whoa, what happened? Like, holy crap. Tree line just vanished. Chimneys, Christmas. What the heck just happened there? I mean, why don't you do something sacrilege like put a Hemi in a Chevy? I know, Genetic, I know, I watched that. That was awesome. That was the one that had the plaid interior. Am I getting that right? His recent plywood Lambo adventure, that was hilarious. I don't know how anyone could think that would drive home. But he seemed to get a pretty good deal out of that truck. Yeah, the Lamborghini. Take an old Pontiac Fiero, strip the body off of it, and build a plywood Lamborghini. I mean, from 100 yards, right? From 100 yards, it'll look exactly like a Lamborghini. From 50 yards, you might be like, what? What is that? Yeah, 20 yards or closer, you're like, are you serious? Yeah, with doors that open like a quarter of the way. I watched a video. I think it was maybe, I don't know, maybe it was Haggerty. What's the channel? There's a guy, I think it's Haggerty, YouTube channel, that has, this guy does a show where he does like a breakdown and kind of the history behind the car. And he had a really interesting episode about the Fiero. He had a really good episode about the Lamborghini Miura too. Bertus, I know I would, if I had the ability to pick, I would probably go with the Lamborghini Miura over the Mercedes. But I've got a soft spot for the Miura. I think it just looks awesome. Good morning, Optimus. What is up? Why don't you take a rotary and stick it in an S10? How about that? Talk about an abomination. It's not fun if it's pre-built. You gotta hack it together. No, we don't need a card channel. I'm gonna look that channel up though. No, stop playing videos. Jiminy Christmas. No. Here it is. No, yep, this is it. There, that's the Haggerty Fiero episode. What's it titled? It's titled, "The Pontiac Fiero was a 50-mile-per-hour con job." And then this one is awesome. About the Mura. Lamborghini Mura is proof that your boss needs to back off. I like that guy. Oh, Dozer, thanks for dropping by. You never know what we might be talking about. I think the Mura will be my next. Once the Corvette's done. I'm not a fan of the new Bond car that was announced. First spawn car looked okay. Those are kind of old, aren't they, Optimus? Ravenhawk, what are you tempted to ask? Because we all know if you never ask, then you'll never get your question answered. Foremost forever, what's up? What is up? Well, you know, at Foremost Forever, I was kind of surprised, actually, that all the maps that I was considering ended up being all platform. I've got a pretty good history of not being drawn to all platform maps. But I think this year far more people are submitting to the mod hub. Far more maps are being released all platforms, and as a result, right, the quality of maps available to console players has gone up significantly. Bellhawk, good evening. Good evening to you. All right, now we can make long runs. I know how you feel, Jake. We, probably within the last 4 or 5 years, paid off the wife's student loans. Yeah, it was getting to the point where I'm like, man, we don't, if we're not careful, we're still gonna be paying on her loans. And the daughter is going to be taking out her own student loans, right? But I think we made our last payment maybe going into either right before COVID or maybe right at the start of it. Oh, okay, I missed that exchange then. I wish Giants had an easy way of knowing how many of any one category were cross-platform. Right? It's easy to do the math to figure out total number of maps released so far in FS22 on the mod hub. It's easy to figure out total number of mods released for all platforms. It's easy to figure out number of mods released for console. What it's not easy to figure out is the number of maps for console released. Without clicking on every single one of them and seeing if they say PC, Mac, or have the full listing. Uh-oh, here comes the rain. Here comes the rain. We're just gonna motor on. We're gonna motor on through the rain, everybody. This is where we forget about reality. Well, Schultz, you know, if this was FS19 and hay and seasons, I wouldn't have cut the hay because I knew rain was coming. But since it's FS22, I don't need to worry about it. We're just gonna motor on. We're cutting grass. This is just regular grass. Nothing fancy. Walter, that would be interesting. If you don't mind. I just know from the website there's no real way to do that. So if we go here, mods, category map, right? There are 26, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. There are 24 mods per page. And we have 11 pages. And then we have +3. So we have 267 maps released for Farm Sim 22. 267. Right? We can go to crossplay. But I can't now go to map. Because then it shows me all of them again. That's the frustrating thing. Let's put that calculator off to the side. I have given feedback in the past that I would love to see more things from seasons in whatever comes next. Right? The drying of grass from hay. The withering or the rotting of windrow left on the field. Be that straw, grass, hay, right? Going through endless years of gameplay and having little bits of windrow just slightly off your own land that you can't pick up is annoying. I'd like to see it just vanish. Quite frankly, that was some of the best parts of seasons. In 17 and 19 was anything that you left out on the field. Well, it wasn't going to be there too long. $226 maps available for console. I always do the math wrong. So 84% of the maps released on the Giant Mod Hub are for all platforms. 84%. Right, crossblades are like over there on the straw. I mean, you can kind of see there's little remnants. I'm not going to spend an hour going up and down the field picking up those little bits. For what? Maybe a bale? Maybe a fraction of a bale? You know, it should just go away in a month or two. You can, Optimus, but you can't then go to a category. So, go to cross-platform, then go to maps. It shows them all to you, not just cross-play maps. Oh, no, crossplays, you never do that, right? But what you could do, the cheaper way of doing it, would be to install the Paint and Terraform Anywhere mod that's over on the Giants Mod Hub. And then you can just squirt the little grass right there, and presto, it's going. $228 maps on Xbox Series S. So yeah, 84.6% of the maps available on the Giants Mod Hub are available for cross-platform. Let's pull something up real fast again. Mods 19 category map. So 24 times 12. Look at that. Oh my god, we are 1, 2, 3, 4. We're 4 maps away from having the same number of maps released for FS22 as we have for FS19. And we know for a fact there are significantly more maps released for console in 22 than there were for 19. So that's an interesting stat. Snow in buckets and trailers. Oh, come on. I mean, if you're going to go for realism, you got to have snow in buckets and trailers. That's what tarps are for. That's why you leave your bucket tilted down in the wintertime. Jeez. You should know this. You live in the land of snowy winters. They're saying we might get up to 6 inches on Sunday or Saturday. Be the first snow we've really seen all year. But they also say our temperatures are going to be 32. So right there on the fringe. I'm betting all we'll see is freezing rain. Either that or it'll be like 34 degrees and it'll just be super cold rain. Well, Dwayne, you know, when you say bulk on your silos, it's going to hold everything, including salt, right? I mean, salt would rust that silo straight out. I've never seen it work like that, Optimus, but seems like it works in game and keeps the filter. I really was not expecting it to take 1 hour and 40 minutes to mow all this grass. Oh, Rabbit Rob, I think the trend's only going to continue. Trend's only going to continue. And what would make matters even better, and I've made this suggestion to Giants too, is to have two areas of the mod hub. Have one area that's just like it is now. You submit mods, it goes through the air quote rigors of Giants testing and is released, and you could call those, you know, certified mods. They've gone through Giants testing, they're validated, they are certified as having some level of quality. And I air quote the word quality too. And then you can have the, we'll call it the beta category. Hell, in FS17, they had a beta category that didn't mean anything diddly squat of what you would think beta meant. Well, I'll even pull it up. Since we're playing pull up the mod hub tonight. Well, let's just go here. You know, you can just mangle the URL and bam, there's FS17 mods. So here's mods for FS17. They had beta mods in FS17. What do you think beta means? What do you think this Valmet 905? What do you think Slovak Village Rise of Industry? You know Mr. Hector. You know he puts out very questionable maps, right? What do you think this means? What do you think beta means with respect to, look, 4.2. What do you think beta means with respect to this map? Do you think this means that it's never been tested? Do you think this means that it's still in development? It's not final release? It's not 1.0? No, that's not what beta means. Not with respect to FS17 mods. Beta means that it's coming from a mod author that has not, quote, proven themselves. Schultz's sell everything mod, it would be beta, because he's unproven. He's unproven. So there are plenty of people back at FS17 that'd be like, oh, I don't install beta mods because I'm waiting for them to be finished. Like, they'll never be done, because that's not what they mean. Stacy, I do not follow anybody on any social media. I have no idea who's working on what map and when anything may or may not happen. So, right, but you can have, and let's say FS25, let's just pretend that that's happening. Okay, we can just speculate. You could have, let's say, a mod hub category that is, you know, official, or whatever term I just previously used. I've completely forgotten now after my beta rant. And then you could have another category and call it beta, and they're basically mods that have been uploaded. Maybe they've not gone through the air quote rigors of Giants testing. Maybe they've had just a light dusting of validation, right? That there's not anything bad in them. And you could have people who are now submitting mods to itch, you know, their own itch page or other things. They could submit their mods explicitly for the beta category, or the, you know, the unofficial, untested category, if you will. So I think that would get even more stuff sent up to the mod hub. Because as Kerbo said earlier, and as I've heard from other folks, there are plenty of folks that don't mess with the mod hub because they're just tired of the inconsistency in the mod hub requirements. Schultz has even seen this, right? You send a mod up, it gets approved. Thank God it got approved, right? And then you go and you want to make an update to it. So you make an update to it, and then next thing it gets rejected. But what it gets rejected for doesn't have anything to do with what you changed. It gets rejected based on how it was when it was first released. And it's like, well, how is that now suddenly, you know, not acceptable? Well, because either one, the guy who tested it first didn't look for that other thing, and the guy who tested it second looks for that thing, because there's not apparently a consistent playbook of how you test things. It's left up to the individual, it seems. Or two, and more commonly, they've decided to change the rulebook on you and didn't necessarily tell you they've changed the rulebook. To be like, oh yeah, it now needs to be done this way. Well, it wasn't like that last week. Well, no, it's that way now though. Well, how am I supposed to have known that? I just told you. Well, it'd have been nice to have known before I sent it. Well, you know now. So I can only chalk it up to cultural differences and hopefully, like, you know, communication problems. I don't know, the sense I get is that that our idea as Americans of what information should be conveyed to us seems to be far, far higher than expectations maybe of other countries. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. But if they had a certified category, there we go, certified, of things that have been tested and validated, and then they had an uncertified category, be the Wild West of the Giants Mod Hub. So I've said before, the only thing consistent about Giants testing is their inconsistency. Schultz, and it's rough, right? It's rough if you want to get some publicity out there before the release. It's rough to get something out there, like, hey, this mod is coming, and then 6 weeks later, it finally shows up. And the worst thing is, maybe when you submitted it, you were the only kid on the block, right? There was no other mod out there did that, looked like that, and then in the 6 week time frame that yours is going through iterations of passing or failing and being resubmitted and waiting to be retested, 3 other mods drop that are basically just like yours, and you're like, WTF, man, seriously? So then suddenly you just become yet another one of many. Well, Schultz, I mean, you can see the kind of petty voting that happens now. Before you didn't... Sorry. Before you didn't even have to download the mod. You could just rate it right off the Mod Hub website. So you can have folks posting on their Facebooks, posting Twitter, and all the other MySpaces and all the other silly networks saying, hey, go upvote my mod, right? You got grandmama, you got all your cousins and your sisters, everybody at work going and 5-star rating your thing. And then Giants made it so you had to actually download the mod, and you can only rate it from in-game, right? So only people who own the game, or only people who downloaded it could actually rate it. Well, now you have folks that download a mod just to give it a 1-star rating because they want to spite you, right? For whatever reason, you know, they don't like your work. So it gets released. 10 minutes later, there's like 1-star votes. It's like, there's no way in hell you downloaded it, did any sort of qualitative evaluation, and then rated it. So you know the type of feedback you'd get. You get, I can't do this, yet clearly your description says, to do this, you must do that, right? Well, no, I didn't do that. I get it, Will's map, right? Nexus Mods, this stupid place, renames, they mangle the names of the mods when you download them, right? So his map, Nowhere, Kansas, 22, right? You download it from Nexus Mods, they go and rename the dumb thing. And if you don't name it exactly, the cell point hotspots don't show up. Buildings don't show up because the path's wrong. In my video, I not only show that you have to rename the map, I not only state it must be named exactly this. There's still comments. This doesn't load up for me when I open the map. Well, rename it. So... yeah, Walter, that was a joke. That was a joke from FarmCon, I think 2 years ago. It was a horrible joke because people really know how do you test mods, so I can help. But no, it was more of a joke video. Well, Will, I was thinking if you didn't make them absolute paths, if they were just relative paths to the map route. But I don't know if that's possible. Well, you can only do so much, Weez and Geezer, right? You can only do so much. Ah, and the Kerbo. It's like, how do I download the map? Oh my god, people. Every link is always in the description. It's not even 20 seconds into the video, and I'm telling you, The link is in the description. You didn't make it 20 seconds in before you asked your question? But, any rate, we are taking care of business in the rain. Oh, at least now it's raining, I'll just go ahead and fast forward the clock. Maybe I'll just tell you it's covered in the video. Go watch it. Yeah, I had a comment that I should take into account local laws and restrictions that farmers have in my ratings. I'm sorry, I'm not an expert in every local municipality around the globe on what their restrictions may or may not be. Because if I was that expert, then I probably wouldn't be doing YouTube videos about farm sim maps. Or you know, this map is just made for players who want to play realistically. Well, maybe it should be made for everyone. And those that want to play realistically can keep the super tight farms setups that, you know, you can barely navigate around. That's fine. And the players that don't want to play realistically can delete stuff. Maybe you design the map for everyone's play style, and if you don't want to do any of that, then fine, you can have it how it's delivered. It would be extremely ironic if other people start rating maps in FS25, let's say. And it's fine. You want to rate them based on some subjective scale? Go right ahead. I don't care. Right? It's your video. Do whatever you want. If you want to rate them on how realistic the map is to the area, well, good luck being an expert on every area in the world. Right? I can't comment on how realistic a map is in the UK. I've never been there. And, you know, how many people in the UK could comment on how realistic a map from Missouri is? I don't know. I don't know how many people from the UK have been to Missouri or been to Iowa or Nebraska or South America for that fact. So then maybe you only ever cover maps of areas for which you are a precise expert on. That's fine. That's your choice. If you only want to cover UK maps, then go ahead. All right, it's your channel. Do what you want. But, you know, leading into the release of FS22, I thought, well, how can I continue to make my videos stand out different from every other map video that exists? Let's start a let's score maps. I don't see anyone scoring maps in FS19. Let's do that. Well, then how should we score it? Well, we should probably score it in an objective way that one can't really argue about. Right? Can you or can you not do something? It's a yes or no question. It's not, well, this type of map should be exempt because of the local regulations that farmers aren't actually allowed to change their farms around. I didn't realize that maps had to be real to life. I didn't realize that was a mandatory requirement. But at any rate, we will continue to do what we do, and people will continue to do what they do. Well, Schultz, I'm somewhat restricted by my lack of talent with respect to Adobe After Effects, Adobe Premiere, Adobe Photoshop. So the pre-built scoring graphics that I had access to basically involved stars. You know, I'd love to give a map 5 tractors, 4.5 tractors. I'd love for my thing, instead of showing whole stars, to be able to show fractional stars. But in the end, I'm just the same. I'm just limited to what I have access to. Well, apparently that's how farmers in the UK work. Is they have the farm and they can't make any changes without going to, you know, the local municipality, because apparently every building in the UK is historic and they can't make any changes without a whole lot of hoopla and government red tape. And if you just watch Clarkson Farms, you would get an appreciation for what farmers have to go through. And then you'd be more educated when you talk about UK maps. It's smoke, exactly. Exactly, smoke. Some people play the game to escape reality. I'd say a large number of us do. So if you want to play the game and hold yourself to strict rules of reality, that's fine. That's fine. But that's not how everyone wants to do it. Christopher, what? For what fields to stay the same? Alright, it's too dark. Way to go, Moo Cow. Way to go. I typically don't. On this map, I won't be doing a whole lot of field rotation because a lot of these fields are in grass, and I'll likely just leave them in grass. And I'll likely just leave this field in wheat or some other grain in order to get straw. I am an Olympics sprinter. Oh, Schultz, I just added the net wrap mod. We're gonna have to add a whole another net wrap here soon. Now, Kerbo, I did install. There's this loan system mod out there, which lets you take out a loan. And the loan max is based on your net worth. And then you can specify up to 20-year repayment and interest rates. You could have variable interest rates. I set that somewhere. I don't know where you set that now. But you could have variable interest rates. I changed it to fixed rate. So I took out $1.5 million loan and set 20-year payback. And since I maxed out my loan, I can't take any more out. So I know 17 had the Bank of Hagenstadt. That was kind of like that. Oh my gosh, we have rain coming up in September too. Oh, we're almost out of wrap. Christopher, nothing has been announced. It is all speculation at this point. Now in 2021, Giants announced Farm Sim 22 in April of 2021. I feel like that was similar time frame in 2018 when Giants announced Farm Sim 19's release. So based on that, right, I think we're several months away still from an announcement. If there is an announcement about that. But Giants also announced the FarmCon date pretty darn early. Usually FarmCon isn't really announced until March, April timeframe too. So did they announce FarmCon's date and location in December simply to make people's travel arrangements easier? Or did they want to get ahead of a big announcement? By having the FarmCon date already set and announced, so when another big announcement comes, they can basically say, right, that such and such will happen at FarmCon, which we already know about. It's going to be in July. Alright guys, that's going to do me for tonight's video. I got to go into the office again tomorrow. Oh, the dredges of the real job. Tomorrow night is Wednesday. I don't think we're going to be streaming tomorrow night. I think we're going to just chillax here. I might try to do some more baling tomorrow night. I don't know. I might see if there's a map to do a video on. Tomorrow night, we'll see. We'll see. A couple maps were suggested to me earlier today. I'll have to go take a look at those. Plus, of course, we never know what might happen over at the Giants Mod Hub. Now that Giants is back. And they are testing things. Hope you all have enjoyed the stream, enjoyed our chat, enjoyed the discussions that we have here. And until next time, happy farming.